Welcome to our deep dive today. We are so glad you are here.
Yes, welcome. We have a really great discussion planned for you.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt nervous speaking a new language?
Oh, absolutely. I think everyone has felt that way.
Right. It is a very normal feeling. Learning a language is, well, it is a lot like learning to ride a bicycle.
Oh, that is a great way to think about it.
Yeah, because, on your first day with a bicycle, it feels very strange. You feel wobbly. You might even fall down.
But then, with simple daily practice, you stop thinking about balance. It just becomes completely natural.
Exactly. And that is our mission for today. We are exploring a wonderful set of notes and transcripts from the English Easy podcast.
And the goal of this deep dive is to help you learn how to speak English naturally.
Hmm.
We want to help you understand real conversations and, most importantly, build your confidence.
Yes, confidence is everything. So our source material today looks at very practical, everyday situations, things like buying a cup of coffee or taking the bus.
And we also have an incredibly inspiring success story to share later. A story about a woman who got her dream job simply by practicing English.
I love that story.
Yeah.
But let us start at the very beginning. Let us unpack the first step of this journey.
Right. The building blocks of daily life.
Exactly. So the source material starts with three very normal conversations. The first one is at a coffee shop.
Oh, yes. A man named David is ordering his breakfast.
Right. He is talking to a worker named Emma. And David keeps his words very simple. He just says he wants a large cappuccino and a cheese sandwich.
And Emma, she asks him a simple question back. She asks if he wants the sandwich toasted.
Which he does. Then she tells him the cost is $8 and it will take about 5 minutes.
It is a very short, very smooth conversation.
Yes. And the second conversation in the notes is at the supermarket. A woman named Sarah is looking for groceries.
Right. She cannot find what she needs, so she politely asks an employee for help.
She just says, "Excuse me, where can I find the milk?" And the worker tells her it is in aisle number 5.
Then she asks about fresh bread and learns it is in the bakery right next to the fruit section.
And finally, she asks about eggs. And it turns out the eggs are right behind her.
That is always a funny moment,
Mhm.
but again, a very simple exchange.
And the third situation is at a bus stop. A man named Tom asks a woman if the bus goes downtown.
She says yes. So he asks a few more basic questions. He learns the ride takes 20 minutes, the ticket is $3, and you can pay by card.
So looking at these three situations, the coffee shop, the supermarket, and the bus stop, what is the pattern here?
Well, the clear pattern is that these people use very simple, polite expressions.
Right.
They use phrases like, excuse me, or can I have, or where can I find?
It is not complicated grammar at all.
Exactly. And that is a huge lesson for language learners. Fluency does not mean using big, difficult words.
That is a relief to hear.
It really is. Fluency simply means communicating clearly, getting exactly what you need in that moment.
Okay, but let me push back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, these phrases are simple. But using them in real life, that can actually make you freeze up.
Oh, you mean when you get nervous?
Yes. You might know the words in your bedroom, but when you are at the store, your mind just goes blank. How do you get past that fear?
That is a great question. The key is understanding that these daily interactions follow a predictable script.
A script, like in a movie.
Exactly like a short play. When you buy coffee, the worker will almost always ask the same questions. What would you like? Cash or card?
Right. The structure basically never changes.
So you can practice your lines before you leave the house. You not have to create new sentences. You just use your script.
That makes it so much easier to practice. You just prepare for the play.
Exactly. It removes so much of the stress.
But what happens when you are trying something entirely new? Something beyond just buying a coffee or taking a bus?
You mean when there is no script?
Right. Let us look at how the source material handles the feeling of starting a brand new challenge. This brings us to our second segment.
Yes. The courage to be a beginner.
The notes share a very helpful story about a man named Alex.
Alex is at the gym, and it is his very first day there.
He wants to lose weight, but he is honest with the coach. He admits he only exercises, well, maybe once a month.
And the coach is great. He does not judge Alex. He just says, no problem. Everyone starts somewhere.
Let's begin with simple exercises. I love that line.
It is such a powerful mindset. And the notes also briefly mention a woman named Lisa.
Right, Lisa's at the airport.
Yes, she is confidently showing her passport to the officer. She is flying to London for a vacation, and she speaks English very well.
So we have Alex, who is a beginner, and Lisa, who is an expert.
Exactly. And there is a direct connection here to learning English. Think about the gym coach's advice.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Right. When you join a gym, you do not start by lifting the heaviest weights on your very first day.
Oh, no, that would be terrible. You would hurt yourself.
You really would. And it is the exact same thing with learning a language. You should not expect to speak perfect English on your first day.
Right. You cannot expect to be Lisa at the airport immediately.
No, you have to be Alex first. You have to start with the simple exercises.
I think that is so important for you, the listener, to hear. It means it is completely okay to be a beginner.
It is more than okay. It is required.
You do not need to feel bad if you can only order a coffee. Those are your simple exercises.
Exactly. You are just lifting the light weights to build your strength.
So now that we know we have to start with simple exercises, what happens next?
Well, you have to keep doing them over a longer period of time.
Right. Which brings us to a really inspiring part of our source material. Segment 3 is all about Anna's story.
This is my favorite part of the notes.
Me too. So the story is about two friends, Mark and Anna is very happy.
She is thrilled. She finally got her dream job working for an international company.
And the big detail here is that she will have to speak English every single day at this new job.
So Mark asks her a very natural question. He asks if she was nervous during her job interview.
And of course, she says yes. She was very nervous, but she was ready.
Because she practiced English every single day for 6 months before the interview.
6 months of daily practice. Let us look at exactly how she did it. What were her specific steps?
Well, the notes say she listened to English podcasts every morning.
Just like our listeners are doing right now.
Exactly. And she also watched English videos.
Right.
But here's the most important part.
Right. The real secret to her success.
She repeated every single sentence aloud. She even talked to herself in English.
Talking to yourself can feel a little silly at first.
It really can.
Yeah.
But the source material places a huge emphasis on speaking loudly.
Why is speaking loudly so much better than just listening quietly?
Because listening is only half of the job. Speaking is actually physical training.
Oh, physical training. That makes sense.
When Anna talks to herself loudly, she is training her brain and her mouth to work together.
Anna actually says in the story that at first it felt very strange to move her mouth that way.
Yes, because making new sounds in English requires different mouth muscles.
It reminds me of wearing a new pair of shoes.
Oh, how so?
Well, when you buy new shoes, they are stiff, they feel strange, and maybe even uncomfortable on the first day.
Right. They do not fit perfectly yet.
But after you walk in them for a few months, the material changes. They become perfectly comfortable and natural.
That is a perfect analogy. Speaking English aloud stretches those muscles until it feels completely natural.
So Anna's success was not magic. She just put on the shoes every day and walked in them.
Exactly. It was the result of a very specific rules she followed.
And that leads us nicely into the final lesson from our sources. Let's talk about the golden rules of fluency.
This is where we really talk about making mistakes.
Right. At the end of their conversation, Anna gives Mark some great advice. She says, don't wait. One small step every day changes everything.
One small step. And the source actually gives the student direct instructions based on this philosophy.
It tells the student to answer the practice questions loudly.
Yes, and it gives a very, very important rule. It says, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency.
Every mistake is one step closer. That is a very different way to look at it.
It really is. The source also tells the student to repeat today's lesson tomorrow, and then repeat it again next week.
Because the more you repeat, the more natural it becomes. But let us focus on that rule about mistakes. Why does that matter so much?
Well, think about how we usually feel when we make a mistake. We usually feel embarrassed, right?
Oh, definitely. You feel hot, you feel silly, you just want to stop talking.
Exactly. But this source teaches us to completely change how we see those mistakes.
How so?
A mistake is not a failure. It is actually a required step towards success. Your brain needs those mistakes to learn the correct pattern.
I see. But I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
It is very easy to read a piece of paper that says, don't be afraid.
Yes, it is easy to say.
But it is actually very, very hard to do in real life. How does a person actually overcome that fear of looking foolish?
That is the real challenge, isn't it? The best way to overcome it is to practice alone first.
Like Anna talking to herself in her room.
Exactly. Practicing alone is a wonderful, safe way to make mistakes.
Because no one is listening, you cannot be embarrassed.
Right. You make those required mistakes in private before you talk to other people in public.
So you fail safely at home over and over until you get it right.
And that builds the confidence you need for the coffee shop or the bus or the big job interview.
That makes perfect sense. So, we have covered a lot of great steps today. Let us quickly summarize the main points for you, the listener.
Sounds good. The first big takeaway is to learn simple, everyday phrases.
Right, like ordering a cappuccino or asking where to find the milk. Rely on those predictable scripts.
Second, remember Alex at the gym. Remember that everyone starts somewhere.
Be kind to yourself and begin with simple exercises. Do not try to be perfect on day one.
And third, practice speaking loudly every single day.
Even if you were just talking to yourself in your kitchen, build that muscle memory.
Yes, because every time you speak, you are training your brain in your mouth.
So, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought today, something for you to really think about.
Yes, based on that golden rule we just discussed.
If our source material is right, and we believe it is, then every single mistake is just one step closer to fluency.
Which means mistakes are not bad. They're actually incredibly valuable.
Exactly. You need them. So, here is the question for you to mull over. How many valuable mistakes are you willing to make today in order to reach your big dream tomorrow?
That is a wonderful question to end on. Go make some mistakes today.
Yes, go practice and do not be afraid. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We will be right here cheering you on. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye and keep practicing.